Happy New Year and welcome to 2022. I'm John Firth with 3 secrets that I think will vastly improve your ability to lead teams and organizations. Now, some of you may be doing some of this already, but I have to say, after 30 years of being a leader and then being a coach for leaders, I was pretty much blown away when I either learned these techniques or thought through and came to the conclusion this might be a better way of taking care of things. So I hope you learned something. Please feel free to get in touch with me if you have any questions about these or anything else by going to my website, johnffirth.com. You'll also have a chance there to hit a button and go to my Calendly and reserve a free 30-minute session to talk. Number 1, stop holding people accountable. Your employees do not need endless plans or to be told constantly what they should be doing, and even worse, when they failed at something or didn't do what they were supposed to do. Nobody wants that. Nobody has ever achieved great success with the software programs or some system that you learn from an advisor. The only thing that works is to have the right work environment that incents people to do the best they can do, to do what they're expected to do, and to interface with the right people so they, in turn, do what they're supposed to do at the right time and with the right results. So stop with the school marm attitude, the prison guard. You are in a living, breathing organization with goals, with missions, and with financial necessities. And that's a lot different than sitting there telling people what to do and, quote unquote, holding them accountable. Number 2, innovate differently. I can guarantee you that no one watching this video innovates and finds solutions to small and big problems the way I'm about to explain it to you. You either have skunk works, or you have a big R&D department, or you sit around the table and wonder why nobody's coming up with good ideas, or whatever ideas come up immediately get pulled apart by the more analytical members of your team. So the way you innovate, and in particular find solutions, is in a system that we call yes and. We start with the problem. Let's call the problem, how do we find the right people for your team? Simple problem, but a problem everybody's constantly trying to figure out. You start with someone with any idea. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be crazy, it can be normal, whatever, but nobody is to judge that person. And so what you do is you go round robin. So if the person to your left says something like, I think we should advertise more. That's neither good nor bad or indifferent, but the next person has to honor that person and say, yes, the reason why I like that idea is, that's always the phrase, the reason why I like that idea, even if the person is thinking, I think this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, there's still a tiny percentage that they may actually find good. And this is their opportunity to say it. So first person says, I think we should advertise more. The second one says, yes, the reason why I like that idea is it also brings other benefits besides just recruitment. It gets our name out there more, builds the brand. And I would like to add something to that, or my idea is, taking off from that is, when we advertise, we shouldn't forget that there's also podcasts and video type of advertising, not just printed material or social media. That's the example of yes and. So then the next person would say, even if they totally don't believe in social media or podcasts or anything, and they'll say, I like that idea because we're going to get a younger demographic in because they're the ones who really listen and take this stuff seriously. We should also find fun, hip, new ways of getting to them. Things that might be a little out of the box, but more fun. This is a different kind of generation, and so forth. That's how it goes. And you just go along the line. And what you'll discover is, 1, the energy level in the room rises instead of what usually happens in these exercises, when people just get frustrated and bored. You get more buy-in, and you usually stumble on something totally cool that has built itself up over successive rounds that everybody thinks is a great idea and is a great solution. And finally, number 3, don't be yourself. I repeat, don't be yourself. Don't even be your better self. Be your best self. That means you need to show up every day for work or when you're doing something in business, in fact, your whole life, to be the best you can be. Now, that sounds like a platitude and can mean many things, but specifically, I mean anybody who's a leader, anyone who has responsibility for a team or an organization should be on constant learning cycles, learning not only about the world and what goes on in the world, but about themselves. Because any great leader who isn't clear about who they are, why they're here, why they do what they do, and make sure that they do the right thing, they're empowering, they're positive, they're energetic, are the ones that do successfully. So don't be yourself. Nobody wants to hear about the problems with your children or lack of confidence issues, except maybe your psychiatrist or your coach. They want to see you be great, because when you're great, they can be great too.